Hi everyone, Mitch from sportschatplace.com, and it is Wednesday, April 10th, 2019. Here with a free live show, live 7 days a week, 365 days a year, giving out free picks. Of course, our best bets. Always over at sportschatexperts.com as well as picksandparlays.net. If you're not a subscriber to our YouTube channel, by all means subscribe to our channel. Click the like button, the thumbs up, whatever you want to call it. Takes you about a half second. It costs you nothing. So, got Major League Baseball, NBA action today. It feels weird, right? It's like this is the time of year where the sports, they start to whittle down, right? And it's like, less and less and less. It's kind of like for us, it's kind of our slower period, but it's a time when we do a lot of stuff behind the scenes. So like the new site design, which doesn't look so new anymore, but we just started it in January. And boy, we had the old site design for like 6 years, 5 years. That's probably 3 years, 4 years. That all happened last summer. It just it took it that long. It's just things have just gotten pretty big around here, and our staff is still growing as well. So we bring on more programmers, more with this and more of that, and different people around the world. Pretty exciting. Of course, we continue to bring the free picks every single day. So one thing that I haven't talked about here, I talked about it last night on Sports Pick Info, and I just feel I really need to address it, even though not one person in our groups, and I don't know if it's respect for, for our rules or anything like that, but not one person has brought up the action show on Showtime. And I just got to say that I felt dirty after watching the last 2 episodes. Felt like I needed to take a shower and just kind of took a long, hard look at what I'm doing, as for me, integrity has always been a bigger part to me than the money. I'm not going to say that I haven't made money with Sports Chat Plays and Picks and Parlays and that, we're a not-for-profit organization or anything like that. But I will say that I've left probably more money on the table than anybody else in this industry, where other people have, are calling you up and, trying to sell you things and charging crazy prices and, making outrageous promises. I've never done that. And it's like, people are like, oh, you'd make so much more money if you did that. But, just not what I wanted to ever do, and I certainly will continue to ever do it. Why do all the other sites endorse and advertise for those Caribbean sports books, and I never do? Why is that? Because we've endorsed some Caribbean sports books in the past, and then you guys didn't get paid. So instead of me taking literally millions of dollars a year is what they're willing to pay to advertise on the site. Well over $1 million a year. Probably over the last 5 years, over $10 million I've probably turned down. Just to not be part of that. To not be part of that thing. And so when I watch that show Action, it just makes me feel dirty when I see the way those people handle things. And, I'm not saying everybody on the show. I'm just saying that you guys know who specifically. I'm not going to say if anyone's a fraud or not a fraud or any of those things. I'll just say that I've never seen a handicapper hit over 70%. I've just never seen it before. And, if you don't have documented picks, then you can't claim any record at all. Every pick that we ever make at Sports Chat Experts at picksandparlays.net, any pick that's ever been made there, anybody can go back and look at every pick that we've ever made there, any capper. And And not these guys, these other people, you can't do it. And, some of the other people on the show, I have things to comment about them too, and I just think that, I don't know, like I said, I just felt like, it was dirty, it just makes the whole thing look dirty. I think Kelly seems to be, on the ball or whatever, but, I don't know why she works at the site that she works at. To me, it's like, if you want to be at the top of your game, if you have that ability to be at the top of the game, if you want to go beyond being the woman that knows about handicapping, which she does, man, I would love to have her on our shows, right? I mean, seriously, not because she's a woman. I would love to talk football with someone that knows football as well as she does. I mean, seriously, and sports betting and football betting and, betting the numbers, and those sort of things that we talk about all the time. But, anyways, I just, like I said, this business can be really sleazy. There's a lot of different ways it can be sleazy. You can have guys selling picks that never give a documented record. And then when they give a record and they state that, like, how much they've won and all of those things, they use some kind of, they're using some kind of weird formula. Like, oh, since March 18th. It's like, that's not the way that it works in this business. It's the last 7 days, the last 30 days, last 90 days, last year, these years, these sports. It's not, since this certain day or whatever. I mean, it's stupid. And I'll tell you the other thing, it's like, it's not like on our systems that you get a chance to say, well, this is my 10,000 unit play and this is my 2 unit play. So you can be actually 1 in 30 and still be, claimed to be up a zillion units. You just don't do it. I know you guys come here for the free picks and I'm going to get to that, of course. But it's something I haven't addressed. It's something that I've been super crabby about. And my wife can tell you that. Craig Trapp can tell you that. The other guys in my company can tell you that. And if you listened to my show with Tony T last night, you heard me talk about it for a long time. And Tony, being how he is, he talked me off the cliff. And he said, that show is about looking for entertainment. They're never going to pick somebody like you or like us. He's like, they would never pick anybody like us to be on the show. They feel that by picking Kelly that they're somewhat representing us, but they pick her because, she's a woman and has these other challenges and they're trying to appeal to that segment. He said it's about entertainment, that show. And that's not a smear on Kelly at all. Because like I said, I believe that she can talk this handicapping stuff with anybody, with me, with Craig, with anybody, and, way better than those guys on the major networks where these shows are popping up. Way better. And I hope she gets what she wants. I hope she goes where she wants. But I could tell you that the website that she works with now isn't that place. But anyways, we're gonna do some free picks. I just felt like I needed to address that. I probably will continue to address it as we go on. It's just, like I said, it's bothering me, so you guys know. I'm not known to be the guy that just, sits back and doesn't say anything. I think, I came online originally to have a place to say something. And, sometimes I'll go through long stretches where I have nothing to say but my opinion on games. But I think when someone makes an attack on our industry, and when someone says that they work harder than me, and that they're smarter than me, and that's why they make so much money when actually they're stealing from people, and it's clear that they're stealing from people, and they're a liar and a thief and a scumbag, that bothers me a lot. A real lot, man. A real lot. It bothers me. And the way that I describe it, when I get approached by a lot of those sites that have the the 800 numbers, call in this 800 number, get tonight's winner on the Eagles-Cowboys game. You guys see it on some of my competitors, right? where it's like they say, click here to get the winner on the Eagles-Cowboys game. And then they take you to another screen. Fill in your email, fill in your address, fill in your phone number, fill in all this stuff, right? And, they say fill in all this stuff. Meanwhile, all you want is the pick, right? Then you finally get to, they want your phone number. And then they call you and they try and sell you like thousands of dollars, right? In picks or whatever. And it's like, for those thousands of dollars of picks, there's no one that's any better there than any of the handicappers at Sports Chat Place and Picks and Parlays. And I'm not saying that as an endorsement of Sports Chat Place and or Picks and Parlays. I'm just using that as an example. I'm using it as an example. Because I think that, the top handicappers, as long as they're documented records, are the top handicappers. They just are. The hot ones are the hot ones. It doesn't matter who they are. But it's like, if you don't have to show your record, and if you don't have to show what picks you made and why you made that pick, because when we saw this guy's picks, it was the Atlanta Falcons to win the fucking Super Bowl, right? It was the Pittsburgh Steelers to win the Super Bowl. Neither of those teams even made the playoffs. Then when he got to the playoffs to a smaller field, charged $500 to pick the San Diego Chargers to win the Super Bowl. I picked the Chargers to beat the Patriots. I charged $27 for that pick. He charged $500 to win the Super Bowl. So, I don't know, man. It's, to me, it's, this is not what I want to be part of. And I've had to do some serious soul searching the last few days to decide if I still want to be part of this industry. And, a lot of people I've spoke to have said, that they want to, that I should ignore it, that this is just entertainment. If the show was on ESPN, that these people would be accountable to answer questions. And the one guy that we're talking about would just walk out of the room if he was asked these questions, because fraud has nothing to do with how much money you make. It has the way that you earn your money. I could take this right here, right? This is pretty heavy, and I'm really strong. That's why I could lift it with one hand. I'm just kidding. But I could take this right here, this thing, and I could grab it by the back right here, and it's got a metal plate right there, and I could smash it over people's heads and steal their wallets, and I can make a lot of money. Doesn't mean I'm going to do it. It doesn't mean I would ever do that. And I'm just using it as an example. I don't think making a lot of money has anything to do with fraud or being successful or any of those things. I don't. I know other people think that money is the gauge or whatever, but for me it isn't. I'm still some guy in a Sports Chat Place t-shirt and hat, and I'm pretty happy doing it. And I think most of you guys know I'm way more happy surfing, in my board shorts with my surfer buddies who couldn't even, tell you, 5 NFL teams between them. I'm way more happy with them than I am at some, $3,000 plate dinner or something, which I've never been to. But anyways, let's get to some picks. And I'm sorry for kind of rolling on there, talking about something that's not picks. I just felt like personally I needed to address it, and I thank you guys for listening to me on it. It's, that camera is what I do the dog of the day on. It has a wireless. You guys sometimes can probably see my lapel mic. But here's a wireless thing. So like I wear the mic. You can see it in dog of the day if you look closely. It's a black microphone. It's always right here. But this is the camera that I use for dog of the day. And it's got a remote. And sometimes you see the remote in my hand when I start getting, and I really hate the Yankees today, Oh man, sorry guys that I've been rolling on here, not talking about picks, but like I said, personally, I just need to get past this stuff. So thank you guys for listening to me and hearing it. So we'll do some picks though, of course. Let's get to Major League Baseball, and got a lot of games today. We got some early games. We got some late games. We'll also take a look at NBA after this, too. So I took the Tigers yesterday. Man, didn't help the mood I was in either, right? Jordan Zimmerman was absolutely terrible. But I think that the Tigers get back on track here. They've been really decent. That was really the first home loss of the season. Zimmerman had been playing really well, but I'm going to take Matthew Boyd here to beat Bauer. I always think Bauer is one of those overrated guys. Anyway, I like the Tigers bats, and I'll be honest as a fan, I love Mickey, right? I just think he's awesome. And then see that double he hit yesterday? He was like at the plate, right? And the ball comes right in here. Like, I mean, right in here. He fists it off his hands. I mean, I thought it hit his finger. I mean, it's sharp double. It's like, he might be, of our generation, of the last 10 years, the greatest hitter. There's guys that maybe have had a better season than him here or there, but he's one of the greatest hitter. And he's one of the greatest hitters. Yeah, I would love to do a sports talk and opinion show. I think that is that's why I got into sports. That's what drew me to sports when I was a kid. Howard Cosell and guys like that. I would love to do that. So we're having, if you have picks, the place to put those is in our Facebook group. We have a Facebook group, and we have over 9,000 members talking about who they like in games. But this show is my picks. So I know it's dictatorship, right? Whatever you want to call it. But there's our Facebook group. We spend a lot of time moderating it and making it a good group and vetting it of all these spammers. I mean, I know there's people in Nigeria that watch our show, people in Nigeria that are fans. What's up with all your homies, man? It's like, is it just like 9 out of every 10 people in Nigeria are spammers? I mean, I don't know. And it's like, I'm not even saying that like as a generalization or anything. I'm saying that from my experience and the people that, have been in our groups. But anyways, I'm taking the Tigers plus 115 in our first game. The line on that one has dropped considerably. So Derek Rodriguez was a pretty good story last year for the Giants. And this year, not so good. The Giants, not so good also. I think, like I said yesterday, I think Madison Bumgarner being traded is going to be the big story for the Giants for a lot of this season. And where he ends up going. I don't know, does he go to a contender or does he go to a team that's like thinks they're going to contend in the next few years? I think it's going to be a team that thinks they're going to contend in the next few years, honestly. I don't think it might not be a team that's at the top this year. I may be wrong, but we'll have to see. I think the Padres are an up-and-comer. They really got a horrific start yesterday. Lucchese's one of my favorite guys, and man, he was just awful. It was like 7 hits and 7 runs through the first 3 innings. Not going to get it done, but I'm going to take the Padres to bounce back here on the road. I'll take the Padres minus 116. 3:45 Eastern Time start in that game. Of course, if you joined us late, I ranted about the Showtime series for a while. Yeah, the Reds must have, I joked around in the Facebook group. If you're in there, then you saw the conversation. Someone said, wow, the Reds did this. And of course, there's one guy in the Facebook group that he just doesn't read any posts, right? But it's like, there's always at least one guy, right? Who he's not really part of the community. He just comes there to vomit on us, right? We have a few of these guys in our Facebook group, and I don't throw them out. I generally don't call them out. We have a few of these people in our Facebook group, right? They're the vomiters. They never come to see what anybody else is talking about. They just say something like, the Reds are up 14-0. It's like, there's 6 other posts about this already, right? Instead of just joining in the conversation somewhere else, they just come there and just vomit on us, not part of anybody else's conversation, say something just stupid, and then just leave. So I'll probably end up throwing, you guys know me, it's like, I'll have a bad day, I'll end up throwing those people out of the group. But yeah, the Reds was definitely part of that talk because, yesterday on this show, I said anyone that lays minus 195 on the Cincinnati Reds should have their head examined. So it wasn't that I didn't think the Reds had a chance to win the game. I just thought at minus 195 on a team as bad as the Cincinnati Reds, I don't know. I just think there's better places to put your money, right? So that was the story with that Reds pick yesterday. And I think I had made that pretty clear. But let's go to, let's see, the line's too big. I like the under 7.5 in the Mets-Twins game. I know both these teams are hitting the ball, but Syndergaard and Odorizzi got hit last time out, and he's a guy that generally, if he gets hit one time, the next time he's really good. And Noah Syndergaard's dominating. He's, as ridiculous as it is, he's one of the more underrated pitchers in baseball. So I'm going to take the under 7.5 in the Twins-Mets game. I'm also going to take the St. Louis Cardinals again. I've been riding the Cardinals all series here against the Dodgers, and I'm going to continue to ride them. The Cardinals have figured something out. The Cardinals have figured something out here with the Dodgers. They have their number. And I really think that I think they beat the Dodgers again. Maeda, not a guy who goes deep into games, not a guy that pitches well on the road in St. Louis. And I don't know if you guys have watched any of these games. I'm a game watcher. You guys, those of you that are new to the show, I'll show you at some point. We'll do one where there's games on. You'll see I have TVs all over my wall. But those of you that are old to the show, my TV setup. So I'm a game watcher, and I watch all the games. And what the Cardinals do is they throw the Dodgers junk. They throw them junk, and they just swing and miss all day long. And I'll tell you, they might write the book here for other teams. Just, why give the Dodgers anything remotely close to hit when they'll swing on 3 balls in the dirt? And that's what the Cardinals are doing to them. And it doesn't really matter pitching matchup. If you can't hit the ball, very, very hard to win games. I'm going to take the Cardinals' Jack Flaherty over Kenta Maeda. Anyways. Yeah, Odorizzi is one of those guys that throws super, super hard. Super hard. Anyways. So, yeah, I'm still saying anyways, even though it's not a real word. We're not going to pound on anyone that sends an email for that or whatever. I definitely regret saying that, but it is what it is. Now let's get to another free pick. So the Thunder are taking on the Bucks, and in the Western Conference, we got a few teams that are all tied, and it's going to matter who's going to play the Warriors, who's going to play the Nuggets, and who's going to play. Let's get the exact names here, so we're not just spewing it out. Someone on the on Picks and Parlays says, I used to wear a Cubs hat all the time. I never wore a Cubs hat, ever. I hate the Cubs. Never have ever worn a Cubs hat. I mean, I don't have an opinion on the Magic Johnson situation. I wasn't there. They said that the rumor was that Magic Johnson didn't work very hard in the front office there for the Lakers. The team's been terrible. You can say it any way you want to, but if you go out and you draft Lonzo Ball with the 2nd overall pick, you go out and get LeBron James and you don't make the playoffs, it doesn't matter if you're Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, or Jesus Christ. You're going to get fired, especially if it's a team like the Lakers. But anyways, the Thunder, this is win time. So for them, if they lose, it's the Warriors in the first round. It could be super ugly. It could be Denver in the first round, and it could be the Houston Rockets. So there's no gimmies in the first round, but I'll tell you what, I'd way rather play the Denver Nuggets than the Rockets or the Warriors. So The Thunder laying 4.5 on the road. I'm going to guess the Bucks are resting everybody. They have nothing to play for at this point. And I'm going to take the Thunder. I'll tell you what I do have an opinion on, and that's Dwayne Wade. I'm from Miami. I did not live there during the bulk of Dwayne Wade's run in Miami. But 3 championships, 2 different teams within the same organization that he did it with, and all with class. Possibly in a city that's had some great champions. If you look at, Miami sports, yeah, the Dolphins haven't won since, 73, but they did have the perfect season. So they had a couple players on that team that were Hall of Famers, more than a couple. You had 5 national championships for the Miami Hurricanes, 6 losses in national championship games with Hall of Famers just sprinkled across those rosters, both college and NFL, including Ted Hendricks, first 4-time college football All-American, was also in the Miami Hurricanes. I know that was not like the Hurricanes that you guys remember. So when you look at Miami sports athletes, of course the Marlins even have 2 World Series. But Dwayne Wade, arguably the greatest athlete in Miami sports, the greatest player, and certainly one of the most loved. And if you watched any of those tributes, there's the one where he gives the jerseys, right, and gets the jerseys back. And then there was the one that they played before the game, talking about his career in Miami from the draft choice all the way to, to today. And man, if you didn't get choked up, you're just you're tougher than I am, right? Let's just say that much. Anyways, I don't think he plays today. I think it's kind of the Derek Jeter, Mariano Rivera thing where you're not going to top last night where the 76ers just moved out of the way, let him slam dunk the very first play of the game. It was like there was no effort on the 76ers part on that play. They kind of just stood around and he just did a dunk to start the game, and it was fitting. And it's at the beginning of the game. It didn't have an effect on the outcome, the point spread, nothing. But in this one, the Brooklyn Nets have something to play for, and I'm going to take the Nets here. It went from 3.5 to 5.5. I think for the Heat also as a team, I think that was an emotional night for them. And I'm going to guess that they have nothing left in the tank. They have nothing to play for at this point. They're not going to make the playoffs. They had the chance. They just weren't able to do it. So the Nuggets have something to play for. I'm not going to give a pick in that game because they're playing the Timberwolves, which have not been a good team for us. But let's just go with, take something generic here. So the Orlando Magic are 4.5-point dogs to Charlotte. It just seems to be a pretty big number here. And I like the way the Magic have been playing down the stretch. I know Charlotte's been pretty tough too, but I'll take the Magic plus the 4.5 here. They need this one. With the Pistons winning last night, the Magic need it. Anyways, we've given out a bunch of picks. I've taken up a lot of your time. I'll give one more pick. What the hell? I'm going to take the Pistons minus the 9.5 against the Knicks. The Knicks on the back-to-back, the Pistons on the back-to-back. Doesn't matter. The Pistons need this one. We saw them finally show some life at the end of yesterday's game, coming back from way down to beat Memphis. Of course, if you watch yesterday's show, we had Memphis getting 10.5, so we covered on that one. And they were winning the whole way. It was no doubter. But anyways, we took the Detroit Tigers plus 115, San Diego Padres minus 116, under 7.5 in the Twins-Mets game. Cardinals minus 105, Thunders minus 4.5, Nets minus 5.5, Magic minus 4.5, and the Pistons minus 9.5. This is Mitch. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day. See you guys tomorrow.